All right. Well, good morning or good afternoon or good night. I don't know when you're watching this, but when I am filming this, it is about 10:15 on Monday morning. You can tell I am at the house. I took the day off today to do a couple other things, but I wanted to knock this out for you real quick and get all this in your hands. And I also wanted to review a couple of things that we talked about in teachers meeting. Now, a lot of people were not able to be at our teachers meeting last week for various reasons. So I wanted to review this real quick and then hopefully walk you through this again. There's two things that we are trying to do that I have challenged you as a Sunday school teacher to take the initiative, to take the lead, to lead by example as we try uh, to regain the momentum that we've sort of lost during COVID and a couple of the setbacks that we've had. So one of the things was I am encouraging you to contact two chronic absentees. Now, the chronic absentees are at the church office this Wednesday night. There will be a table underneath the map at the north end of the foyer. And after the PM service, not before, after the PM service, I will be there and you can come by and you can get two names. Right? I'm asking you to contact two people a week. I'm only going to give you two, and I'm only going to give you two if you bring back the two that you took in the meeting. Okay. And what we're asking you to do is to contact them, whether that's by phone or by visit, but you're trying to make a personal contact with them and invite them back to Sunday school. All right. That's the first thing. The second thing that I've been encouraging you to do and challenging you to do, and I'm going to try to do the same thing, is I want us to set a personal goal, not a class goal, a personal goal for you and me, that we will invite two unchurched people every week to our Sunday school class. So I'm not inviting them to church. I'm not inviting them to a special event. I am inviting them to my class. Now, obviously, if you're a man and you're talking to a lady waitress or cashier or coworker or whatever, she can't come to your class unless you teach a co-ed class. But you can say, hey, I'll meet you there and I'll get you to the right class. I want you to come to a Sunday school class. So I want us to get that in our minds. It's going to take a little while to raise that awareness. Now, there's about 35 or 40 of us. I'm going to get the exact count. I can never remember it. Mindy will tell it to me one more time. And that times two is our weekly goal. Now, what I'm going to try to do real quick here, we had trouble the other day, is I want to share my screen with you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what you're supposed to do. Okay. So what you're supposed to do is after you invite your two people, unchurched people, to attend your class, you're going to come here to the FBT Sunday School website. That's fbtsundayschool.org. It's the same place you get your lesson prep. Now, you see my mouse here? You got 3 pages. You got home, lesson prep, Sunday school invite. So you'll click on that Sunday school invites page, and it'll take you to this page right here. And all you do is fill out this form. You're going to put your name right here. Okay, so I'm going to put Jeff Johnson. You're going to put your email, jjohnson@fbt.org. And then I'm going to put the name of who I invited. So let's just say I invited Michelle Johnson. So we're not going to count these. And then I say I also invited Austin Johnson. All right. So none of this will count. As soon as you get done, now there's actually 4 blanks there in case you hit the jackpot and you get 4 or 5 people invited, but the goal is only 2. All right. The goal is only 2. And then when you get done with that, you're going to hit submit. All right. And that's going to send an email to me at my desk so that I'll know what we're doing. Okay. So that I will know that we are reaching our goal, and every single week I will get back with you. All right. And let you know how we did as a group. Okay. So that goal we're going to do Monday through Sunday. All right. So you get an extra few days since we started teachers meeting last week on a Wednesday. I'll give you a couple extra days for this first week. So you got till this Saturday to invite as many as you can. I'll keep you updated. And I'm going to remind you throughout the week because we got to raise the awareness on that. And then, of course, if you got a couple of names on last Wednesday night, you'll need to turn those in this Wednesday night. And if you weren't able to get those, you can stop by the table and pick them up. All right. So let's go over lesson prep real quick. You can click on the link right here below and you can download the lesson. We're going to continue sort of piggybacking on Pastor Monroe's series about love. And the reason we're doing that is because we really want to, it takes people numerous times to hear things and to process and to think through things. They don't just hear a message on it and then go for an entire week and not, and remember it every single day. So we're going to piggyback. So they're going to be getting a double dose of all of this. And I will do this for several weeks. Now, let me give you one more tip before we dive into the lesson. You can open it up down here in a Word document or PDF, whichever is your preference. You know the routine. While you're doing that, let me tell you what I'm doing. Okay. And this is just a tip for you. Okay. So we're teaching, through this Hebrew series. And I think most of us will agree that it's a little bit of a labor, right? It's not as easy as some of the other lessons to prepare. Now, the trade-off is like the lesson we did yesterday and this lesson this week and the lesson the next couple of weeks should be easier to put together because we're hearing the message on a Sunday. You're going to study it and you're going to present it again the next week. So this message, what the world needs now is love, preacher preached 2 weeks ago. So it should be familiar, should sound familiar to you. And this lesson's not going to take you as long to put together. But yet you have this time that you designate for lesson prep. You know what I'm doing? If I could walk over there to where I sit and read my Bible and stuff in the morning, I could show you my study Bible. I could show you 2 commentaries on the book of Hebrews, right? And you know what I did all last week? And I actually finished it up this morning. I've studied Hebrews chapter 4 because chapter 3 took me a long time to put together. All right. And chapter 4, I got to be honest with you, I haven't even looked at Jerry's notes yet on that. I'm going to put that together this week, even though we're going to teach it several weeks from now. But by reading several other things and just sort of going slowly through it on my own, I feel like I've already got a really good grasp of Hebrews 4 before I've even looked at the curriculum. Okay. And that's going to really, really help you. So spend your time preparing this lesson, What the World Needs Now is Love. It shouldn't take you nearly as long to put this lesson together as a normal Hebrews lesson, but use this time to jump ahead in your personal study of Hebrews. And I think that when we get to those sections in Hebrews, you'll do better. All right, so let's talk about this lesson. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. The text is John 13:34 through 35. Here's the introduction I put for you. And this is a, Jimmy Miles calls this like a popcorn thing, okay? Popcorn testimony. So I'm looking for quick, rapid answers to pop up throughout the room, all right? So the first question is going to be, and I might use my board just because that dials people in more. How would you describe the condition of our culture or our world in one word? One word, okay? So they might say angry. They may say, I don't know what they'll say, but you're just getting those out and you're popping those out. They're describing the condition of the world in one word, okay? And then turn it around and say, okay, now, if I only give you one more word, but this word's got to be the solution to what we're currently dealing with, what would your one word solution be? So people might say love, some might say peace, some people might say Jesus, right? The cross or whatever. So you're trying to get them going and thinking. And then the final question, third bullet point is, if you could describe the world the way we wish it would be in one word, what would that word be? All right, so you're asking these questions, and then you're going to conclude. If there's one root word that could be used in one form or the other to answer all 3 of those questions. Our current condition, unloving. The solution, love. Our dream world, loving. One word in different tenses and usages answer all 3 of those questions. And the pastor, I want you to say this over and over again. He's challenged us with a new vision. What's that vision? To be the most loving place in Eastern South Carolina. And why is that appropriate? Because, man, what this world needs now is love, sweet love. All right. So point number 1 is simply some definitions. And you're looking at love from a worldly perspective. So letter A is the Webster Dictionary definition, a feeling of strong attraction, sexual desire, affection based on admiration, benevolence, or common interest. What you see in common with those is that they're all associated with feelings. And if there was one, let's skip down to letter E. If there was one thing that I think we would use to describe how the world thinks of love, it would be it's feeling based. Feeling based. So you're going to go through those 3 definitions. Those are the Greek language to use to describe the human love. And you're making the point that the way the world looks at love is feelings or pleasure or friendship. Now, hey, here's a great assignment. Send an email or a text to your class early this week and say, I got an assignment for you. I want you to ask your friends, family, whatever, just to define love. Just define love for me. Tell me what you think about love. All right. And get that feedback. And then you can use that even in part of this point right here. That'd be really creative, right? If they would send that to you and you could say, hey, Bob over here said whatever, and Jane over here said, so that would really be good and make the point even more practical and real. The second point then, to contrast what the world says, is what the Bible says about love. So now you're going to really do a Bible study, okay? And you're making the point that as a Christian, I've got to be more concerned with how the Bible defines love than how the dictionary defines love. So I'm going to look up these verses: Deuteronomy, Jeremiah, Hosea, Isaiah, all that kind of stuff. You can even do a sword drill with that and give out some candy for the person that gets to the verse first, and we'll read it. Okay, that's participation. You can use that right there, right? But you're talking about and defining this word love from a biblical perspective. Now, letter B is from the Old Testament. Letter C is from the New Testament. We only go to John 3:16, and you're using the word agape. All right. And the point there under letter C is little number 3 there. It's a love controlled by the will. There's your contrast. The world says it's controlled by the feelings. The Bible talks about agape love being controlled by the will. So I don't even have to have the feelings. I have to behave in a way that I know is loving. And that's a really, really important point. And then point number 3, what the world needs now is love, God's love. All right, not sweet love, but God's love. And you're making the point that the entire motivation of Jesus's life was love, from the manger to the cross. Right, everything was about love. And what does that mean for you and me? Well, here we are trying to win the hearts and minds of people, and the logic would say if we're going to do that, we need to do it the way Jesus did it. And the way Jesus did it was he loved people. Now, the application, I want you to leave plenty of time, and I got a really good idea here that I think you can make this very, very practical. You can talk about the mark of the Christian. You can talk about, you could go back, and I wouldn't use this as a discussion thing, but you did the introduction with one word. A great question might be, hey, take a piece of paper right there, and I want you to write down, if I surveyed your 10 closest people, and I had your wife, maybe your kids, and your neighbor, and your boss, and your coworker, and the guys at the gym, whatever, and I said, give me one word to describe you, what would that one word be? Would anybody describe you and use the word love at all in the right way? They may say unloving, but in the right way, okay? And that's a personal challenge. But then look at the last thing here. Here's what I want you to discuss, because this is where it gets practical for you and me in a Sunday school class. How can we, as a Sunday school class, become more loving? And this is where you're going to have the opportunity to talk about, how do we treat guests? And do we always have to sit in the same seat? Do we know anybody else around this class? Is there anybody in the class we don't know? All right. Well, why don't we know them? What about when it comes to ministry and opportunity to serve someone? All right. So you can really begin to make this a very practical application for your class. You might even want to develop 2 or 3 guidelines for your class to be a loving class. And if we do these things every week, we're gonna be a loving class. All right. So that's a really good lesson. Preachers knocking these lessons and messages out of the park. All right. So that's everything I got for you. If there's anything you need, feel free to call, text, email, stop by the church office, whatever. I'll be there every day except today. All right. But the rest of the week, you can feel free to stop by. And I hope you have a great day. If there's anything at all I can do for you, please let me know. Remember, you're going to invite 2 people that are unchurched. You're going to report that at the Sunday school website. And then you're going to get those 2 chronic absentees from me on Wednesday night. And you're going to make those contacts so we know what to do with those people. All right. Whew, that was a lot. God bless you. Have a great week. I will see you very, very soon.